In the quiet town of Harrisville, Rhode Island, nestled on 200 acres of peaceful farmland, the Perron family believed they had found their dream home. Carolyn and Roger Perron, along with their 5 daughters, moved into the farmhouse in 1971, unaware that they were walking straight into one of the most terrifying hauntings ever recorded. It started with small things: doors creaking open on their own, the sound of footsteps in empty hallways, objects disappearing and reappearing in odd places. But the energy quickly escalated. The daughters claimed they saw apparitions some kind, some terrifying. One spirit in particular stood out: a woman with a bent neck and hollow eyes who smelled of rotting flesh. She targeted Carolyn, the mother. The family would soon learn about a woman named Bathsheba Sherman, a local legend said to have lived on the property in the 1800s. She was accused of sacrificing her baby to Satan and cursing the land before taking her own life in the barn. The Perrons were terrified, and so they called in 2 people who were becoming known across America for their paranormal investigations: Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens were different. Ed was one of the only non-ordained demonologists recognized by the Catholic Church. Lorraine was a clairvoyant, with a gift or curse that allowed her to sense the presence of spirits. When they arrived at the Perron farmhouse, Lorraine immediately felt it. She described the home as steeped in a demonic presence, with layers of restless spirits. But Bathsheba was at the center, the strongest, the angriest, and the most dangerous. The Warrens attempted a seance in the basement, hoping to communicate and release the trapped souls. But something went wrong, very wrong. Carolyn Perron reportedly became possessed. She spoke in a voice that wasn't her own. Her body levitated off the ground and was thrown across the room. Her children screamed, and the Warrens, terrified themselves, pulled back, knowing they had unleashed something they couldn't control. The Perrons never got a formal exorcism. They lived in that haunted house for 10 more years, enduring unexplained attacks, cold spots, and constant fear. Their story became the inspiration for the 2013 film The Conjuring, but Hollywood only scratched the surface. Because the Warrens had seen far worse. Years earlier, in 1970, they encountered something deceptively small: a doll. 2 nursing students received the doll as a gift. It was a large Raggedy Ann, soft, innocent, seemingly harmless. But it began to move. It changed positions when no one was looking. It left notes written in crayon saying things like "Help us" and "Help Lou." The women contacted a psychic who claimed the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle had attached itself to the doll. They believed her. They nurtured the spirit. They gave it permission to stay. That was their mistake. The Warrens discovered that Annabelle wasn't a little girl, it was a demonic entity. It had lied, and now it had a foothold in the physical world. They took the doll and brought it back to their occult museum, where they sealed it in a glass case and surrounded it with prayers. The warning was simple: do not touch. One man ignored that warning. He tapped on the glass, mocked the doll, laughed. On the way home, he lost control of his motorcycle and hit a tree. He died instantly. Annabelle has remained in the museum ever since. She inspired her own trilogy of horror films and a legend that continues to grow. But the Warrens didn't stop there. Their case files grew by the thousands. In Enfield, England, they investigated a poltergeist that terrorized a family and possessed a young girl, inspiring The Conjuring 2. In Brookfield, Connecticut, they investigated the case of Arnie Cheyenne Johnson, who stabbed a man to death and claimed demonic possession made him do it. It was the first time in U.S. history that a legal defense argued the devil himself was responsible for murder. This became the inspiration for The Conjuring. The devil made me do it. The Warrens' investigations weren't always welcomed. Skeptics called them frauds. Others accused them of exaggeration or seeking fame. But even their critics couldn't deny the fear people felt around these stories. The homes, the possessions, the things they saw, the things they felt. Today, both Ed and Lorraine are gone, but their museum remains locked away in their old Connecticut home. A room filled with cursed artifacts, possessed dolls, satanic altars, and items too dangerous to be handled. Tony Spera, their son-in-law, now runs the museum and warns all who visit. This is not a place to joke around. Hollywood turned their stories into billion-dollar franchises. But the real horror was never on the big screen. It was behind closed doors. In the whispers, the cold spots, the haunted memories of those who lived through it. So next time you watch a Conjuring movie, ask yourself how much of it is fiction and how much is still happening right now.